Hello guys, welcome back to Leo's Animal Planet. Today we're going to be looking at bats. Bats are the misunderstood superheroes of the night. They don't always get the best reputation. People thought that they brought bad luck and that they were connected to monsters and demons. But the truth is very different and way more amazing. In fact, bats are incredible creatures that scientists and animal lovers are still learning about every day. The first episode in our Misunderstood Animals series is all about the world's only flying mammal, the bat. Scientists have actually found bat fossils in caves where Neanderthals lived. So that means that bats must have been around for a very long time. It took humans centuries to find out what bats did in the animal world and where they fitted in the ecosystem. People thought that maybe they were birds. Oh no, maybe they were rodents of the sky. Nobody truly knew. Even the philosopher Aristotle wasn't sure. In 1787, even the naturalist Buffon said that they were half bird, half quadruped. Basically a mix between a bird and a four-legged animal. That confusion made people scared of bats and made bats seem scary to us humans for a very long time. Back in the Middle Ages, people believed that bats were evil spirits. In Gothic art, bats were displayed as spooky creatures. And when people were building their houses, they would seal bats inside cement to supposedly keep bad luck away. Very superstitious, and probably the most cruel you can be to animals. Cinemas have played a big part in negative storytelling about bats. It started with Dracula. Do you know this film? It's basically about a bat vampire. A vampire who has bat wings. Also, the film Bats is where mutant bats are the main antagonists and they terrorize a town in the middle of America. Also, Georges Méliès, one of the pioneers of cinema, made a film where bats were flying over a castle, like huge bats. And you definitely all know Batman. Well, you know, Batman, his backstory is very negative. It plays a big role in negative storytelling because his story is where like a bunch of bats scared him. And Pokemon! They have a bunch of cool bat Pokemon like Crobat, Woobat. Not a big fan of Woobat myself, but Crobat is awesome. Now Leonardo da Vinci actually built Batwing, like a flying machine of bat wings. Is pretty cool, isn't it? Now let's talk about the truth about bats. Let's talk about the real facts. Bats also help our planet by eating bugs as well as pollinating plants. And when we protect bats, we're also helping nature stay healthy and happy. Now, bats are very beneficial to plants, like fruit bats, who spread seeds and pollinate flowers. Bats belong to a scientific group called Chiropterids. And there are more than 1,400 species of bats all around the world. Chiroptera means hand wing in ancient Greek, and it refers to their unique wing structure. They come in all shapes and sizes, from the tiny pipistrelles to the huge Malaysian flying fox. And the flying fox's wings can spread up to 5 feet wide. 5.5 feet wide for wings. That's crazy. Every single species of bat has their own amazing, unique traits that help them adapt to the world at night. And no, they don't want to get stuck in your hair. That's just an old myth. And out of the 35 types of bats in Europe, none of them drink blood. The few bats that do live in South America, but they don't feed on human blood. Most bats eat fruit, fish, and insects. Did you know that every single bat has their own unique print and design on their wings? Just like humans' fingerprints. Most bats are actually more agile than most birds in flight. And there is a special membrane called the patagium. And the fastest bat in the world, the Mexican bat, can go up to 100 miles per hour. That's what I call a nighttime ninja. Most bats are active at night, mainly because they're nocturnal animals. While we sleep, they're mostly around catching bugs like mosquitoes, moths, and caterpillars. They're like little pest control for farmers and gardeners. You can even find bats in cities, like in trees or on the roof of your house. You can see them in parks and streets. One time when I was out with my friends, it got really, really dark in the winter. So we saw like this massive crowd and flock of bats, and they just came swarming above our heads. It was so cool. Bats can do something that is kind of like a superpower. They can see with sound. And this ability is called echolocation. I'm sure you already know about it. Here's how it works. Bats make high-pitched sounds that bounces around objects around them. Then they use their echoes to kind of locate where stuff is, like say a branch on the floor or a bug in a tree that they could eat. They also use it to communicate. They use the echoes to find out where things are, like bugs and tree branches. Even in complete darkness, bats can fly with amazing precision. Some bats make super fast sounds called a feeding buzz when they're about to catch their prey. Their special throat muscles help control these sounds. Some bats even have funny nose shapes or different nose shapes to kind of control their calls a bit better. There's also another thing called the low duty cycle, where bats take pauses and stop squeaking to listen. There's also a thing called the high duty cycle, where bats use a high stream of sounds and use the Doppler effect. Doppler effect is like when a siren kind of changes pitch as it moves. So like, have you ever heard ambulances going Nina, Nina, stuff like that? I'm going to play the Doppler effect of a bat right now. Have a listen. A lot of people say that bats are blind when that's not the case at all. In fact, they can see pretty well in dim light, just not as good as we can. Big bats like flying foxes can see really well in daylight and colour. Now let's talk about magnetic sensing. Bats have like this built-in compass where they can sense magnetic fields all over the earth. We talked about this in our monarch butterfly video. Link up here, as well as the bird migration video where they have the built-in compass in their head. Links up there. Now, did you know that bats have the same built-in compass? And this helps them know which direction they're flying. But scientists also believe that they have little magnetic particles inside their body, and it's around their body, not just in the eyes. How do bats stay warm, or how do they stay cool? Well, they've got this thermoregulation system. They wrap their wings around their bodies like blankets to stay warm. And sometimes on hot days, bats lick themselves or use their wings as a fan or fan their wings. Special blood vessels inside their wings helps them regulate the temperature of their body, a bit like elephant is. Now let's talk about torpor, the bat nap time. To save energy, bats can slow down their bodies. and that is called torpor. The temperature drops and they rest deeply. Some bats do this at night, during cold weather, or even to avoid predators. Did you know that in winter, bats hibernate, spending most of their time in torpor? Some bats even use torpor on hot summer days to stay cool. During long trips and migrations, bats use torpor during the day to save energy. And did you know that bats actually surf on storm winds to go faster? Bats hang upside down so effortlessly because gravity locks their feet on wherever they're hanging from. They have special immune systems that protect them from many different viruses and poisons and bacteria. Scientists believe that analyzing bats' bodies will help us learn how to create better medicine in the future and fight diseases better in the future. But because of fear and illusion around bats, they are sometimes blamed for spreading diseases. But scientists believe that humans are the problem because of all the terrible things we are causing, like deforestation and destroying natural habitats, as well as the illegal wildlife trade. Now, bats have so many amazing traits and features, but they need our help. Did you know that many bats around the world are endangered? That means that there are fewer and fewer of them, and they could disappear if we don't protect them. Why are bats in trouble? Well, there's only one reason: because of us. People cut down forests so bats, they lose their homes. People use pesticides, which is taking away their food. Another effect of pesticide is that they will look down and they might see a bug that has been affected by pesticides. They don't realize that it has been affected by pesticide. They swoop down and eat it. But the pesticide is still on the bug's body, so that goes into their systems and they get poisoned. Noise pollution and light pollution confuse bats and scare them away. Some other problems are habitat loss or urbanization, climate change, and sometimes bats are even persecuted by humans because of their fear of them. Some people are scared of bats and try to get rid of them, even though bats don't mean any harm. Well, how can you help bats, you might be thinking? First of all, just be kind to bats. They're not scary, they're super helpful. Did you know that they're actually pollinators? Turn off outdoor lights at night. Tell your friends and family that if they didn't know about bats being awesome and not spooky, tell them about how awesome they are. Well, you can make bat boxes. I didn't make this one, but you can also buy some online. I'm going to put this up in my school. I wonder where you're going to put your bat boxes. These are very important as you're basically providing a really important spot for them to nest. Also, please help the Bat Conservation Trust. Sometimes they even host night watches where you basically go out into London or where you live, and you go out and you look for bats. It's so cool. I've tried it once and I want to try it again. It was so fun. Believe me, it's an event you should do with your family. Now overall, bats are amazing, cool creatures who help our Earth's ecosystem by reducing the population of bugs to the right way. It's just the perfect amount, as well as pollinating flowers, spreading seeds. They're just awesome creatures. I hope you enjoyed this video about bats. Remember to share some awesome facts about bats to your friends and family because they deserve the love. Why are people bad rapping them? They deserve love because they're not the awful creatures that stories tell us they are. Don't listen to stories that represent bats as terrible creatures because it is entirely different. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you all next time on Leah's Animal Planet. Bye!